there were so many good things that came out of our Maryland game that we want to continue to just grow from that. There were really some very positive offense, and I just love some of the things that we were doing and growing as a team. We left a lot of points on the table, and we can lament that all day long, but the fact that we gave up 84 points to a pretty good offensive team, and we still can't plug the holes in our defense right now. We just cannot do it, and we just got to keep working at it. We're going to do some drills today. We're doing some, like back to the beginning in some things, because we're just having trouble with just the idea of some guys in the midst of action getting a stance and playing really good gap defense or one-on-one defense. So we got a real challenge with us with Northwestern. This Northwestern team is extremely skilled. They have a great big man who's been injured, playing 20 really solid minutes a game right now, and their guard plays exceptional. McIntosh is leading the league, I think, in assists, or he's second. Depps, you saw what he did to us last year. That was painful watching that game again, believe me. I never want to see that game again, but I had to watch it, and so it's going to really be a challenge. That not only they play a very unusual matchup zone that we probably have only seen a little bit from Penn State, just a few times, and maybe Bryant played a little bit against it of us. So we're going to have to really execute well, change what we do. Now they could play man, they could do some other things. They've had 8 days off, and so they could change some things. So we'll have a good practice today. Yesterday was obviously very light, and we have a good practice today, and see where it all stands. Do not expect Karras to be able to play, because he's not, just talked with him, he's not going to be able to practice today. He still has some discomfort. So I think we should just, going forward, just plan on he's not going to be playing until, he's ready to play again. And you might ask the question, well, shut him down. Well, he wants to play so much, we're going to give him every opportunity to play. And he's a senior year, every opportunity to play right till the end. And he's going to make that decision more than I would.
Jake? Well, last game, Maryland goes in the first half round, and something starts to look like Michigan State or Indiana again. Do you think it's a sign of growth that they responded differently? And kind of what was the
absolutely, especially on the road, 17,000 people. Really big sign of growth for us. It was, SMU, it was a similar run that people went on. We couldn't stop people. Even Connecticut on the road, or down in the Bahamas, and we answered it. And we answered it twice, I think. So that's a good sign for us. And a lot has to do with our improved big man play. We've been plodding along, trying to get better and trying to get better in that area. We found an answer with Mark. And that's a lot because Mark's in his third year. He should be playing better, and he is. And we look forward to watching his improvement going forward.
Playing a team like Northwestern, which is so different this late in the year, when you I would imagine have things set a little bit in terms of matchups and games are similar.
Yeah.
To kind of play a team that's so different this late, is that an additional challenge, or am I reading?
Yeah, I just said to my staff that there's a different puzzle every 2 or 3 days right now. I mean, there's just a different puzzle, and you're trying to flip it over and get this team to understand it and get them to understand what they have to do, yet keep them fresh. It's a big challenge. It's a really big challenge, and so they really are executing well. I mean, you look at all their games right now. They've been out of only a couple of games. I think maybe Michigan State like us, and that's about the only one, I think. And in North Carolina, they played reasonably well. They're a good basketball team, and like I said, I wouldn't doubt at the end of the year they're right in the middle of the Big Ten based on looking at their schedule going forward.
3 games left until the postseason. You just said, kind of plan on going ahead without Karras. Yep. What in these 3 games, if you would identify, 1 or 2 things that you want to shore up the most, what would that be?
It's got to be our defense. I mean, I'm just, people are shooting. The last 5 games is 50%. I mean, I can never remember a team at any time right now. And we've certainly played, as I told you a few games ago, our schedule is going to change right now. These next 9 games are different than our first 9 games, and it has. But I mean, to everything with people are shooting like 77% from the foul line against us, I believe, too. I mean, it's like our foul line defense really stinks, too. And so it's been, I don't know, we just keep working at it, and I'm sure some of it is personnel driven and some of it is scheme driven, and we gotta find answers.
That was kind of what I was gonna get into. I mean, these numbers, I guess, compared to your other years
Yeah.
here are worse than
Yep.
every year. I mean,
Yep.
is there something that you can identify? Have you
Well,
tried- or
I
is that
think
postseason?
I think one thing in the least, except for last year, Mark, is there was okay, get them out of there. We got somebody else that's fresher right now, or gonna play better defense. When we just had an 8 or 9, especially in the backcourt, where so much of this, we're having leakage back there just as much as in the post and some other areas. But we just don't have that confidence to change and put guys in that are gonna be better than maybe a player who is having an off night defensively. And so that's one of the things that just brainstorming with myself, and then you're trying to, in practice, instill it, but you also can't kill them in practice, because you got a game the next day in order to get them better at it. So that's been the challenge, where when you had a nice little rotation, or that the guy came in the door with really good elite defensive skills, like Trey Burke sort of understood everything right away, right? He was really good at that. This Zach Novak right away was really a good defender. And so it's those type of things you can instruct and they'll get better. Others need different methods.
Numbers wise, the last month, the last 3 weeks really have been worse too. Is that just a function of playing better teams, or?
Where we're playing them. But yeah, I mean, we played some elite team. I mean, who has ever seen a team like shooting 55% like from 3 like Michigan State was when they came in here? I mean, that's just, they're really a good team. But we've been able to hold down the Purdue's and some other teams. It's just, we got to do a great job defensively down the stretch, or our season won't be very long. It's that simple.
John?
Is Mark growing more self-motivated as you go, or does he still need that prodding?
He's so quiet, it is tough to read anything that's going on in the big fella's head. I mean, we try to just give him positives, give him positive reinforcement. His teammates love him, and it's tough to know what he's thinking sometimes. And so we're just, but I've seen these little signs of confidence. Very few three-pointers have been drawn up for him because he's just felt that he was better playing out of spontaneity. And yet all 3 of those, the ones the other day, were all drawn up for him, and he knocked them all down. So it's a huge step for him to be able to embrace, hey, coach got confidence in me. I'm ready to shoot this one in.
Chris?
Will you have the discussion with Mark after the year about the red shirt year again?
Yeah, we probably will have that ongoing. He's really doing a great job of earning his scholarship this year. He's doing a wonderful job of working hard and doing everything. But that'll be met at another time, because it obviously affects our scholarship situation in 17.
And then you mentioned Spike on your radio show. Is there any chance that he's with you guys next year? Have you?
Well, I think we got, we're one over with the scholarship, so he's got to, right now, he's got to get healthy, and there's a lot of water's got to go under the bridge before we get to that point. He's got to decide if he wants to play, is he healthy? That's why I wanted him out here just playing a little bit, just not for us, for him, to see whether he wants to continue to try to play, whether it's professionally, graduate from Michigan and go play somewhere, or if he wants to go and play here or transfer, all those options.
So you haven't eliminated that as a possibility?
No, I don't think there's anything eliminated at this point.
Okay.
Adam?
John, you've hit on some of the topics already, but just given the ups and downs of the season, you mentioned Karis, the Maryland game where there was good effort but still a loss.
Yeah.
I'm just curious how you handle it. Is this one of the most challenging seasons you've had coaching?
I think the last two, the last two, if you go, it has been really a challenge for our whole staff. And so it's the unplanned things, that now you have an injury like Karis, and you expect, okay, the worst he's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks maybe, and now we're at 8 weeks and he's not able to come back. So it's just like pouring gasoline on the fire. So, but you just got to deal with it. That's why these positions are well paid. That's why there's a lot of scrutiny in them, because you got big decision making. You got to weather the storm every time and not show weakness. And so that's what we're trying to do.
I'm kind of going along those lines, man, but somehow, not to discredit the team, but you guys have found a way to still float in the top half of the Big Ten, still competitive.
Yeah.
I mean, is that something that
I would
sticks in the
love
back
it
of
to
your
be a
mind?
great story at the end of the time, that these young men just, all through all that, they lose their two captains, you know? They lose their two captains during the middle of the year, really. I mean, we expected Spike. I sent out a press release. We expect him to be better than ever. That's what I was, you know, understanding the surgery would do, and it didn't work that way. And so to lose those two in the middle of the year and still fight through, this would be a great testimony to young men just getting better and fighting like crazy. So that's got to be the goal right now. You know, like I said, to say we fought through all this and still got it done. That's got to be the goal, and that's my goal.
Kelly? With Northwestern coming off an 8-day break, I mean, what do you think the biggest challenge will be for your guys? And, I mean,
Well, that can go both ways. You know, we've had 2 years in a row. I think our break is at the end of the year or close to it at the end of the year. And so, yeah, maybe that's good, maybe that's bad. They could be rusty or they could be sharp as razors because they have had, their legs are back underneath them. So, yeah, I'm trying to think in my mind, what would I do in those 7 or 8 days off? Am I going to change it all? What am I going to do? And I probably would change some things. So anticipating Chris might do that as well. But at the same time,